All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. First of all, I just want you all to know that we are going to be recording this session. It's going to be available to view later on the DCAT Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, as well as on the DCAT and the DCSD websites. And today we're going to be talking about resources for families of gifted students. All right. So first of all, I am Becca Coster, and I am going to be your moderator and your presenter this evening. And before we get started, I thought I'd tell you just a little bit about DCAGT. So DCAGT stands for the Douglas County Association of Gifted and Talented, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're made up of all volunteers. There are family members, educators, and community members. And we are an affiliate of the Colorado Association for Gifted and Talented. All right. So as I said, we are going to be talking about resources for families of gifted students. So before I get into the Colorado Department of Education part, I just want you to know that if you have questions at any time, you can go ahead and type those in to the chat box, either on Facebook or on YouTube at any time. If you wish to remain anonymous, you can also email your question to info@dcagt.org, and I'll answer as many questions as possible during our time this evening. So let me see if I can work my mouse. Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna put the email in the chat as well, in case you just want to see what that is. All right. So a lot of times during our DCAT lives, we talk about different resources that are available to parents. And we mention them in passing, but we don't really kind of go into detail on what specifically you can find on these different resources. So today I thought I would start with the Colorado Department of Education. So CDE has so much information about gifted education on their website. And a lot of it is geared toward educators, but there is a lot of information available that is geared towards parents. So specifically, they have a parent corner, and I'm gonna pull this up for you and then show you what this is. Okay, so they have a parent corner, and they have so much information on here. So if you are a parent who is newer to gifted education, if you're a family member who's just had a student that's been identified, even if you've been on the journey with your gifted student for a long time, this website is very, very valuable. So they have this wonderful glossary right here. It's a glossary of gifted education terms and definitions. Understanding the gifted education terms are really, really important so that you can understand better when you interact with your child's gifted education facilitator, if you are seeking out additional resources, if you're looking at books and things like that. Just understanding the terminology, of which there is a lot, is really important. Colorado has a specific definition for what a gifted student is, and you can read that exact definition, and it's the definition that's the law. And so if you want to really understand the details of that, that's really important. You can learn more about how students are identified and in what areas they're identified on this parent's corner. If you have a student who's not yet in kindergarten and you want to learn more about early access, just generally, I strongly recommend coming to this website. And then if your student is in DCSD, then also please go and look at the DCSD's website, because they have all their information on their specific program. You can learn about ALPs here. And so it's just a really, really important place to go and look to get sort of that baseline level of information for all gifted students in Colorado. All right, so let me go back here. So the CDE website also has a section specifically for parents on twice exceptional students. So if you are the parent or family member of a twice exceptional student, or you feel like your student might be twice exceptional, I personally have found this information very, very valuable. And then if you want to read the actual laws for gifted education, you can find those here. I know that might not be everyone's cup of tea. I personally feel better the more information that I have. So I've actually read the laws. I can't tell you what they are right now because they're very dense, as most laws are, but I did definitely read those, and it helped me understand better and just feel more confident in understanding what it was that I was learning about in order to help my specific student, and then to advocate for gifted and twice exceptional students in general. All right, so the next organization that we're going to talk about today is the Colorado Association for Gifted and Talented. So earlier today, I mentioned that DCAT is an affiliate for the Colorado Association for Gifted and Talented. So the way that this works is that we are sort of the very regionalized affiliate, and then many states have an organization, and Colorado's is CAGT. And then there's a national association, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So CAGT has amazing, amazing resources for families. One of the ones that I want to highlight, and I'm going to just go ahead and click on this and show you guys, is Conversations with CAGT. So these happen almost every Tuesday at 5 o'clock during the school year. And they have gifted and twice exceptional experts from all around the nation come and do presentations in specific areas. And these are also recorded so that people can view them later. Like, for example, my daughter has violin lessons. And so I can't attend Conversations with CAGT on Tuesdays at 5 because we're at violin lessons. But because they're recorded, I can watch them later. And they have amazing topics. Let me see if I can get this to open. Here we go. All right. So this is their second year for Conversations with CAGT. So I'm going to just scroll a little bit and let you all look at all of these amazing topics that you all can go and watch at any time. I know that I specifically have come and sought out specific information if there was something going on that I needed more information for. And then there are other times that I just look and see what it is that's interesting me at the time. They're about an hour long. They're really interesting. They're really wonderful, and I strongly suggest that that you use this as a wonderful resource. And you can scroll through, and there are just so many amazing presentations that you can look at. All right, so I'm gonna go back. So CAGT also has an annual conference. It takes place in October every year, and if you are so inclined, that conference is amazing. They have all kinds of sessions for educators, sessions for families, and then at the conference, they usually have an evening that they call Family Institute. And they have wonderful speakers. You can network with other parents. You can learn so much information. And I highly recommend that you utilize this as a resource as well. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide. So I had mentioned a few moments ago about the National Association for Gifted and Talented. So they're sort of the overarching umbrella of which CAGT is a part of, and then we're a part of CAGT. So the NAGC website has so much information. So I just have a few things highlighted here. So you'll see Gifted at a Glance. So if you want quick, specific information about different topics on Gifted, you can go to that Gifted at a Glance section. You can click on and read like a little one-pager on specific different topics. If you're wondering if your child is gifted, you can look at that section, and it'll tell you, some common characteristics of gifted children and different things like that. They have a wonderful area about advocating for gifted children. And then something, because we did just finish spring break, and we are hopefully in the comfortable downhill slide towards summer. They have a wonderful section on planning for summer. If you're looking for different kinds of activities for your student to participate in, I found that was really valuable. So at the end of this presentation, I will put a link to the slides, and everything is hyperlinked. So you can go ahead and utilize that. All right. So the next organization that we're going to talk about is supporting the emotional needs of the gifted. Their acronym is SENG, and it's pronounced SENG. So SENG is a fantastic resource. When my student was first identified as gifted, my student needed a lot of assistance with sort of those big feelings. And so this is where I started my journey into understanding more about gifted, was through SENG. And they have a wonderful library with all kinds of information and articles about so many topics about emotional needs of the gifted. They also have what they call seminars, and they happen, I'm going to say, probably about once a month, and they are a fee-based seminar, and you can pay and then watch and participate in these important seminars about emotional needs of the gifted, if that's something that you're interested in. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and move to the next thing. So We also have valuable resources that are more, sort of in our own spheres. So teachers are amazing resources. Gifted education facilitators are an amazing resource. If you're not aware, every school in Douglas County has a gifted education facilitator. If you go on the DCSD website, in the search bar, you can type gifted, and then you can see who the gifted education facilitator is for your student's school. Those folks have so much information about the gifted programming that's available at the school that your student goes to. And then parents and family members of other gifted students. So groups like ours, like DCAT, I know that there is a Discovery Booster Club at one of the Discovery school sites. That would be if your student goes to that school and is in Discovery there, that would be an amazing resource. But connecting with parents and other family members, I found really, really valuable. And then there are so many other resources. There's books and podcasts, and there are videos and all kinds of things. And if you're watching this live or if you are watching this later, if you have a particular book or a particular podcast or a particular movie or some other resource that you have found very, very valuable, I strongly encourage you to go ahead and type that in to the comments area so that that we can share those kinds of resources. I know that I personally have listened to the Tilt podcast. One of my favorite books is The Parent's Guide to Gifted Children. I have many little note flags in that book. And then I'm just wondering if anyone else has any other resources. So if you do, if you could type those into the chat, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it later. And then I'm going to go ahead and move ahead. So we at DCAT have resources as well. So we have our website, we have our Facebook page, and we have our YouTube channel. So our website has a lot of basic information about our DCAT lives and different things that are happening in the community. There on our Facebook page, we have a sort of great articles and different kinds of things that families of gifted students will find relatable. A lot of times we'll share information from CAGT or other CAGT affiliates. Other affiliates have different kinds of live streams and different kinds of things that sometimes are open to everyone. So those are great resources. And then our YouTube channel houses all of our DCAT lives. So with that, I thought I'd look to see if there were any questions. And if there are questions that come up later, you can feel free to email me later. My email address is Becca, so BECCA, at dcagt.org, and you can email me there. Yeah, so I'll just wait a few minutes and see if any questions come in. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go and check really quick my email to see if anyone has emailed during the time that I've been talking with any questions. No, not yet. Okay. And then I'll also take a few moments, if anyone's thinking of any questions, to tell you about when and what topics we'll be discussing for our next DCAT Live session. So hold on just a second. I like to think that I'm usually more organized than this, but I'm going to say over the past 2 years, I have not been that organized, so I'm not going to be able to commit to I'm usually more organized than this. So I'll let you know our next 2 DCAT Live. So the next one is Monday, May the 2nd at 6 p.m. And we're going to be talking about middle school and high school transition. And then we have another one that will be Monday, May the 16th at 6:30 p.m. And we are going to have a guest speaker, and her name is Joy Lynn. And she's going to talk about social emotional development of the gifted and Dabrowski's theory of positive disintegration. There you go. So yeah, so let me come back over here and see if there are any questions. And I see that there aren't, so I'll check one more time on our email. And so with that, I'll just thank you all very much for joining me this evening. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope to see you at our next DCAT Live. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so, so, so much.